Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for November 15th through 21st. This week I read 2 books, I watched 2 shows, I watched 1 movie, and I listened to 1 book. First this week I finished No Time to Say Goodbye. This is a historical fiction book of a residential school that is actually very close to where I live. Or at least it was very close until it eventually closed. Cooper Island is off the coast of Chemainus, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive from here, and is just one of the places where the Canadian government took Indigenous children and kept them away from their families. From my understanding, this book was thoroughly researched, and we follow 5 different children who are taken there at the same time and different troubles that they faced. And honestly, it made me angry because I am appalled that my government did this. This week I also read Heartbeat Braves by Pamela Sanderson, which is also the group book for the Indigathon. This is the first in a 4-book romance series, and I really enjoyed it. Usually in a book like this you get dual perspectives between the female and male love interest, but you got a few more perspectives in this one, which makes me feel like those couples are going to become couples down the line in the other books. For this one we primarily focused on Rayanne and Henry. Rayanne has been working at this community center focused around Indigenous issues, and Henry's uncle has become somebody that's on the board, so basically is like, hey, you have a job now. And he's like, I didn't ask for this. However, he is going from job to job to job, and he does get kicked out of his apartment at this time, so he needs the money. The life of this community center hangs in the balance because they've been trying to purchase this property. They should have it any day now, but they're just not hearing anything back from the government as to when they can move in. When this was announced as the group read for the Indigathon, I decided that I would just buy all 4 books, because if I liked the first one, I was going to want to read the rest of them, and I did, so I will. On to what I watched this week. We finished the 2nd season of Magicians and worked our way into the 3rd season. There's a lot of things happening that I obviously can't mention because total spoilers if you haven't read the books or seen the show. What I can say is I continue to really love these characters and the arcs that they're given and the growth and the different complexities of how magic works or doesn't. Every time I watch the show I find myself wanting to create a world as cool as this one. This week I also watched the entire 15th and 16th season of Grey's Anatomy. Yes, I watched 46 episodes of Grey's this week. Listen, November is the worst month. It makes it harder to get out of bed. It makes me want to go to sleep earlier, but then I don't want to go to sleep earlier, so I stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning reading books or watching shows or that type of thing. It even makes it hard to record YouTube videos because I know the lighting is going to be absolute nonsense because I rely on natural lighting, and there's barely any. However, something that is incredibly cathartic for me is watching Grey's Anatomy because it makes me cry, and sometimes you just need to cry and you need to have a good reason, and for me a good reason is all the tragedy that happens on Grey's. About 200 episodes ago in this series of my weekly entertainment wrap-ups is when I first started watching Grey's Anatomy, and I watched the first 12 seasons in about 3 months, so it's just kind of nostalgia for me to get back to these characters and think of how long I've been loving them and how many characters we've lost, and we lost some more these seasons and some more things happened, and I have so many opinions. This is also the most caught up I've ever been because there are only 3 episodes of the 17th season out there, and I think I'm just going to have to get my hands on them. The movie I watched this week was Kate and Leopold. This is a rom-com from about 20 years or so, give or take a few years. The premise of this movie is Meg Ryan's ex-boyfriend thinks that he can figure out time travel. He actually does. He ends up going back in time and kind of spying on one of his ancestors and accidentally brings him forward in time to Manhattan. I primarily decided I needed to finally watch this movie because a book that I will be reading next week is a loose retelling of it, and that's One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I really liked this rom-com, and I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any little hints to the original in this queer retelling. The book I listened to this week was So You Want to Talk About Race. This is exactly what it sounds like. It is a book for people who would like to be able to talk about race without making a complete ass of themselves, and also, you know when they've done wrong and fix it. This is both an excellent book for people who are starting at square one and just are at that very basic level where they know nothing but they want to know things, and for people that have done kind of that research before just to see the same concepts presented in a slightly different way. It seems to me that the more analogies you have for a concept, the better you will understand it. For that reason, if you're one of the people that thinks that racism doesn't exist, or it wouldn't exist if we didn't talk about race so much, or anything like that, I highly suggest picking this up. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as the link to my PayPal and my Amazon wishlist in case you would like to buy me a book. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!